Welcome to Motivation at Hand, Ma. To know is to know how. Make your foot the foot that counts. Part 11. Case 123 CR 00257 TSC Document 139 filed November 6, 2023, in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia, United States of America versus Donald J. Trump, defendant. Government's omnibus opposition to defendant's motions to dismiss the indictment on statutory and constitutional grounds. The 2000 election. In the election of 2000, CECF number 113 at 25, 30, 31, ECF number 114 at 29, 31. The initial vote count showed that George W. Bush won Florida by a margin of 1,784 over Al Gore. C. Bush, 531 U.S. at 100,001. That narrow margin triggered an automatic machine recount, the results of which showed Governor Bush still winning the race but by a diminished margin, same as at 101. Gore then sought manual recounts in several counties, which the Supreme Court eventually halted, finding that the use of standardless manual recounts violated the Equal Protection Clause, same as at 101-03. On December 13, 2000, the day after Bush vs. Gore was decided, Representative Patsy T. Mink, from Hawaii, described the ruling as most unfortunate and argued, unsuccessfully, that the precedent of Hawaii's 1960 electoral votes established a better approach for completing a court-supervised recount and certifying the results before the Joint Session 146 Congressional Record E217980, Daily Editor December 13, 2000. When the electoral votes from Florida were counted on January 6, 2001, several representatives sought to object. But Vice President Gore, presiding over the joint session, overruled each objection. 147 Congressional Record 104-06, January 6, 2001. The defendant contends that because the Supreme Court, in Bush vs. Gore, indicated that the parties had taken an appropriate route to resolve the dispute, ECF number 114 at 29. But the candidates in the 2000 election litigated their disputes in court and then abided by the results, in accordance with the rule of law. By contrast, after courts rejected the defendant's efforts to change the outcome of the election, he persisted in his efforts to fraudulently and corruptly obstruct the certification of the duly elected winner. 2004 election. Following the election of 2004, CECF number 113 at 25, 28. Stephanie Tubbs Jones of Ohio raised an objection, signed by Senator Barbara Boxer, to the counting of Ohio's electoral votes at the Joint Session 151 Congressional Record 199, January 6, 2005. Footnote 18, as the sources cited by the defendant note, ECF number 113 at 28 number 7. Senator John Kerry, the Democratic nominee for president, released a letter Wednesday saying he would not take part in the protest. Our legal teams on the ground have found no evidence that would change the outcome of the election, Kerry said. See Democrats Challenge Ohio Electoral Votes, CNN.com. When Congress went to separate session, Representative Jones explained, this objection does not have at its root the hope or even the hint of overturning the victory of the president. But it is a necessary, timely, and appropriate opportunity to review and remedy the most precious process in our democracy, the right to vote. Same as after the separate sessions ended, Ohio's elector votes were counted for President Bush. This self-styled protest vote by a member of Congress was not remotely analogous to an attempt from outside Congress to corruptly obstruct the certification process through fraud. The 2016 election. Following the election of 2016, CECF number 113 at 25, 27, 28, several representatives attempted to object to the counting of electoral votes for the defendant at the joint session. 163 Congressional Record H186-H189, Daily Editor January 6, 2017. Each time, Vice President Biden, who was presiding over the joint session, refused to entertain the objection. See same as, at H-186 the Vice President, there is no debate. There is no debate. It is over. Again, nothing about those unsuccessful protest votes by members of Congress is analogous to an attempt from outside Congress to corruptly obstruct the certification process through fraud. Taken together, these historical examples stand for several unremarkable propositions, none of which support the defendant's motion to dismiss. There have been times, as in 1800, 1876, and 1960, when genuine questions have arisen over which slate of electors from a particular state has been duly appointed. On one occasion, Thomas Jefferson accurately concluded that Georgia's electoral ballot, which included a certificate of ascertainment, was genuine. On another occasion, Richard Nixon accurately concluded that Hawaii's second certificate of ascertainment, issued after the recount was completed, but prior to the joint session, correctly reflected the state's lawful final allocation of electoral votes. And on one occasion, in 1876, Congress resorted to an independent commission, whose failure spawned the Electoral Count Act. When faced with competing state-backed electoral slates, there have also been times, as in 1824, when the failure of any candidate to obtain a majority of electoral votes has thrown the election to the House of Representatives. And there have been times, as in 2000, 2004, and 2016, with the results have sought to raise objections to the electoral vote count, resulting in either the objections being overruled or, in one case, a brief adjournment designed as an Ohio-focused protest vote without the hope or even the hint of overturning the victory of the president. 151 Congressional Record 199, January 6, 2005. Notably absent from any of these historical episodes, however, is any attempt by any person to use fraud and deceit to obstruct or defeat the governmental function that would result in the certification of the lawful winner of a presidential election. The existence throughout history of legitimate electoral disputes does not validate the defendant's corrupt and dishonest actions, any more than the existence of legitimate investment offers validates the creation of a criminal Ponzi scheme. The court should reject the defendant's claim that these fundamentally dissimilar historical examples somehow robbed him of fair notice that his scheme could be criminal. Part 12. To be continued. 3. Neither the impeachment judgment clause nor the double jeopardy clause precludes criminal prosecution here. Much appreciation to you for giving of your time with us at Motivation at Hand. To know is to know how. We trust you will come back soon.